Hey traders, John Howell here. Today, I've actually got a few things I want to share with you. Firstly, market update. Not looking too good. Not looking too good on the downside. We actually should be getting more follow through on the downside. And I'm going to share with you exactly what I'm seeing on a technical analysis basis. And then also, I want to share with you a bit of an update, obviously, on gold. Also going to talk to you about one stock that I believe is getting ready for a bit of a thumping on the downside. And also, I've got a bit of a crypto chart to share with you as well too, based off a pattern that I've talked about 1,000 times on this channel. And I'm going to share that pattern with you, and hopefully you can just absorb that pattern and trade it next time it comes around. Let's get straight into it. Don't place a trade based on what you'll see in this video, because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Alrighty traders, let's get straight into the training today. Traders, I'm about to take down that $7 sale for my trading course. Normally I sell it for $495, $500, but that $7 course. If you need some help with your trading, guys, go get that $7 course. I promise you, you're gonna love it. If you're struggling with your trading right now, I promise you the very first video, which is the top 13 mistakes you're making and how to overcome them, is gonna stop you from making those mistakes so you actually can start moving forward. And then the rest is all gravy, right? So is it gravy? Is that the word there? So anyway, so actually, let's actually start off with the good old stocky market, and look what's happening here on the good old stocky market. So we're actually getting quite a weak. Can I say it again? Weak. All right. So we're actually getting quite a weak close where we are right now. As you can see, look at this close right here. So we could possibly draw the trend line there, but even if we draw it through there, look at that through there. So look at this. This is actually not looking too good from a trading perspective. Look at that through there. I'd have to say that'll be that level through there. So we actually got a little bit of a false breakout here, and it's actually quite interesting. A lot of the times you'll see this. False breakouts can happen quite on a lot of different things, right? So you may get a channel. Okay, you may get a channel, and then if a false breakout to the upside, we're probably likely to do something like that. Something like this over here, right? Look at this here. Resistance, resistance, resistance. False breakout, came up, rejected it, and then thumped, okay? Makes sense? Sometimes you get that on a triangle basis, right? So you might get triangle bases look like this. The market's doing that. We get a false breakout to the upside, and then the market does something like that. It's something that I've just noticed. It happens probably, I'd have to say, a good 70-80% of the time, that when you get the false breakout for there and it does get back in, we actually end up getting a thumping on the downside. So you can see, if I draw my trend line here on the short-term basis, we have rejection, rejection, rejection. Look at this here, false breakout, because it actually broke to the upside. Here we go. I don't think so. And then back in. Look at this here. Isn't it really interesting? If we zoom right in, you can see that. Let me bring up my arrow. Look at that point right there. See how we actually had starter point, rejection, rejection, rejection. False breakout, broke to the downside. Look at this day here. It opened, rallied up, hit the nail on the head, and then broke. And then look what happened here. Rejection again, and now we're actually breaking to the downside, getting below this level through here. So if I'm looking at this level right now, we're actually not looking too good for, actually, let me just draw it through there. I'd have to say that'll be that. It doesn't really matter anyway, because it's past tense. But if let me draw this other, I'm just trying to get this other trend line in properly so I can get that line in properly. Right there, I'd have to say, right there, yeah. And then we have this other trend line. And then we have this other trend line going through there. So all I'm trying to do, guys, is I'm trying to connect this touch here, touch there. I'm trying to get more touches, because the more touches on a trend line, the more valid it's going to be, okay? So you can see what actually happened here, right? So overall, if we're looking at this overall basis, we overall went sideways. Then we came down, rallied up, and now we're coming back down again. And this whole support level, support, double bottom, is now becoming resistance, resistance, double top. Actually, look at this here. Isn't that interesting? Bottom, top. So what was a double bottom is now a double top. How cool is that? And now we're breaking down, breaking below there. So it's probably going to be quite, we're probably going to see a really really severe movement on the downside. I would have to say, because we're going into a 3-day weekend next week, and we're getting a nice strong solid close below, and we're getting this. See, look at this here. So we have a double top, then we broke down, came back up. Look at this here. So this resistance point through here, support, came down, rallied up, resistance, and broke down. But what do we also have here? We also have, at this point right here, is what? A lower. So we have a high, now a slight lower high, and we're actually closing below this level through here. So that's actually very, very weak. Double top, rallied down, rejected off that level, and now doing that. So we may get a little bit of a backing pattern or a little bit of a pullback initially on the day, but then we're probably going to end up something like that there. And I see quite a, to me, I see quite a big red day tomorrow coming into the market. But I don't believe, like, red day, yes, and flush down, yes, and it may be even a Black Friday tomorrow, right? Where we get a big 5% down day or something like that. Actually, what would that be? Actually, maybe, hey. Yeah, that'll actually be there. So we may even get something like that tomorrow because the market is shaping up to do that. The big picture, guys, the big picture, what you really want to keep focusing on is this, okay? Is that while we're getting this pullback in the markets, okay, and while we're getting this freak out and shake out in some markets, please don't believe that this is the start of an 80% crash. If you're listening to your mate Harry Dent out there, who's been saying, Mr. Harry Dent. Anyway, I actually like Harry. I think he's got good intentions, but the whole thing about growth is about learning from your mistakes. It's like, okay, what did I miss? What did I get right? What did I get wrong? And moving forward. Don't keep... It's like you being a baseball player, right? And you're throwing, or you got the bat, and you're swinging the bat a certain way, and you're just horrible. And even though the coach is trying to tell you, listen, these are the things you should be focusing on. Anyway, so the big thing we want to be focusing on, guys, is the fear and greed index. So we can see here, right, this fear and greed index right now, we're probably going to get, let me just scroll down the bottom here. We're probably going to get this fear and greed index start to peg down below 20 here, I believe, before we start to see a big move up. So just keep an eye on that, guys. So yes, initially we're probably going to see a lot more downside to come, but this is not the top, okay? This is not the start of an 80% crash in the markets. Not yet, okay? Not yet. So as you're starting to see the market sell off, and you got the bumblebees headlines, I call them bumblebees because anyway, and they're all over the place, right? They're all the headlines out there. That's it. The top's in. The market's going to crash. It's already been happening lately, anyway. That's when the market's going to suck you in. So that's what's on the S&P 500. Let's go have a look at the good old Nasdaq. The Nasdaq's doing the exact similar thing, and a lot of lines on my charts in there. Look at this here. So we had this resistance point through here. Look at this here. Same sort of thing, right? Look at this. All this level around that 14,400 level was indeed. There's a lot of, and sometimes traders, when you're doing your analysis on the markets, sometimes it's not a finite number, but it's more like an area. So yeah, as you can see here, right, this whole from 14,006 to probably see that whole area. That whole area really is a resistance, a level of resistance. Okay, it's never like, oh, well, the exact number is 14,462.22. No. No. It's more like sometimes the market will give you areas where the market has a lot of confluence. You can see how this whole area here in the past, say 12 months, in the past 12 months, you can see how it's had a lot of resistance. Now we've had what? Now we're actually rallied up, hit resistance once, hit resistance twice, and now we're backing off again. And the same thing for the same thing for the S&P as for the Nasdaq as well. And so we can see. Let me just take that off the screen there. We know that that's that level through there. Let me just take that off the screen as well too. We don't need that. we can see what's happening here, right? We're getting a double top, we rallied up, we actually rallied up, and now we're actually having a breakdown below this level through here. Now remember, traders, the reason why that's important is because remember, this time bounced and it came down, bounced off this level, could not close below, but look what's happening now. We're getting a really good, strong, solid close below. So it's not looking too good for the, where is that? Where'd that go? It's not looking too good for the bulls, right? So I'm expecting to see this thing continue down overall and have a bit more of a flush down in the markets through there. Let's go have a look at the Dow Jones as well too. So the Dow Jones is actually getting a little bit of a weak pullback as well too. We do have a bit of a support line there. Let's actually take that off for a minute. Yeah, the same thing for the Dow Jones as I've been seeing on the S&P 500, right? We have this overall level of short-term, what was 1, 2, 3, 4 days of support, because this is a daily chart. We broke down, rejected it once, twice, and now we're actually breaking back down again. So there's a high probability we're going to start to see something like this to come back down through here. So, and then the top's in, that's it. The market's going to crash. The market's all over. It's going to, and then, yeah. You watch this thing make a slingshot move. It may pull back for the rest of this for the rest of February, but my oh my, it's shaping up to be really, 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 really good. And let's go have a look at the Russell 2000. Same thing for the Russell 2000. We're starting to slowly break out now below this level through here. So you got this resistance point back here, resistance point. We've got a slow pullback, and now we're getting a break to the downside, closing below here. So I wouldn't be too surprised, guys, to see that the Russell 2000 is probably going to start to see some movement on the downside. Just a quick little update on gold. Gold, just like I said before a few weeks ago with the breakout, we're now getting ready to take on some serious price action, and gold is doing that. To me, guys, now people who've been holding gold, which I've been, for me personally, guys, I've been long gold now for a long time. So I've been holding through this whole time. Is now we're starting to reap the rewards. And this is this move we're seeing right now on gold is the start of an incredible move to the upside. And what's probably likely to happen is this market here, it's going to move. We're going to have a bit of a sell-off in the stock market, but then the stock market is going to rally with gold, and then you know you're coming towards the end. What you want to do is this, okay? Through history, when they start to raise interest rates, where they're probably going to raise interest rates next month, when they start to raise interest rates, we are generally speaking, if throughout the rest of this year, if they continue to raise interest rates throughout the rest of this year, then we're roughly around 6 to 12 months, depending on how fast they raise them. If they do half point, or if they do that, or if they do quarter base point, we're about roughly 12 months from the big major top in the markets. Right now, we're just getting an adjusting period of what's happening with the stock market, but it does. To me, when they start to raise interest rates, you want to see what they do, because you can see that. But once again, if you look through history, look through the 1929, the 1987, the 2008, even the top in 2000, in 18 and so on and so forth, when we started to get a bit of a shaky period. What happened is that the Fed raises rates roughly for around 1 year. And then we start to get the major topping of the markets, and we go into recession and so on and so forth. So that's the big thing you really want to be focusing on from there. Now, traders, let me just share something with you here. A bit of a pattern that I just love trading, and it actually formed in one of the crypto markets recently. So there's a pattern here that I love trading, and what it is that sometimes we will get the pattern is this. Okay, so we have a sideways channel that goes like this, okay? So sideways channel. And then we have the support level down through here. And what happens is we break down through there, we rally back up, we do nothing, and then we start to break back down again. So we have a sideways channel, breaking down, breaking back up. We get this whole level through here, which is resistance. And then we start to get a big breakdown. If we get something like that, there's a high probability we're going to get. I've seen most of the time it does this. Sometimes it may give you a little bit more of a pullback again, and then start the free fall. So 7-8 times out of 10, you're going to get scenario number one, when the market does start to have a big movement on the downside. And then maybe 20% of the time when you do get the big breakdown, I've seen it a few times where the market may pause, give you another slight little pullback, and then it starts the free fall. But either way, the end result is of this pattern when we start to get, especially if we start to get a nice big strong breakout bar like that, excuse me, is on the downside. So if I share the good old, let me share this with you here, right? Look at this. This is Bitcoin, right? So this is actually the Bitcoin chart, actually just recently. Look at this here. Very, 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 very simple, right? Look at this. So if we go have a look at, let's get a, let's just get a black. Okay, so look at this here. We have what? We have resistance, and we have what? Support. See that level through there? It's actually probably a bit higher, but anyway. So you can see that level through there, right? We have resistance up here, resistance here. We have the major support level through here, major support. So it's channeling, right? Channeling. And then guess what happens? The market dropped. And as I said before, that line is probably a bit higher than that. Let me just draw it a bit higher than that. It's probably around that major support level. It's probably through there somewhere. There we go. That's the level I'd use. So you can see here, sideways. We broke down. Look at this here, sideways. Rejecting. Look at this here. And as soon as we actually then got the breakout candle on the downside, after doing this channel, break down, rally up, and then we got the thumping, and then we started to see the free fall in the market. So that's what I'm seeing through their traders. It's just a pattern that I love trading, and Bitcoin did it just in the last 24 hours as well too. So there's you know what, traders, I've made more money shorting Bitcoin than I have going long. Oh, but the people that are holding Bitcoin right now say, shut up, John, shut up, you moron, idiot, stop talking about that. Talk about the reason why it's going to go back up again. I'm going to go watch a channel who says it's going to go to 200,000 because that's what because I agree with them. Okay, I'm just trading what the chart's telling me. It's just a pattern, right? So and let's actually go look at a few stocks as well too. There's actually a few stocks that I've been watching for. I talked about a few stocks yesterday, which was like things like Tesla, and I was waiting for that higher low, TSLA, right? I'm waiting for that higher low. We're not there yet, so I was waiting for this thing to make a higher low and break up because that'll give me a bit of confirmation now, likely to see him move to the upside. We actually haven't gotten that yet, so there is no trade for me there yet. On this one here, same thing from Microsoft as well too. We're actually not getting that higher low here. We're actually rolling over, and this is still becoming a high and a lower high, so nothing's changed. And now we're getting another strong roll over through here. So it's actually looking quite weak when it comes to Microsoft as well too, when it comes to that point through there. There's actually a few other stocks that I've been watching on there, but if we have a look at, say, JP Morgan, you can see JP Morgan did the exact same similar thing as well too. So JP Morgan actually had a bit of a strong rally up, and now we're actually sort of breaking below this level through here. So we could actually be getting ready for a bit of a down. We actually could be getting ready for a leg down in JP Morgan. And the thing I'm looking at here is actually, you can see here how it ripped. It ripped a low, a lower low, and now we're doing a lower high here. So there's actually looks like it's going to start though. We even got a bit of a volume increase today as well too. Not much, but a small little. Let's actually go look at this here. Yeah, so a small little volume increase today on that break to the downside. So that's actually looking. You can see here the last few times we've got a bounce, and now we've got to close below through there as well too. So another stock, guys, is Caterpillar. Caterpillar to me looks like it's about to get absolutely thumped on the downside, and you can see here, if I bring up the last sort of 6 months worth of view, you can see here firstly we had a big strong move up, then we had a strong move down. So something like, I'll call this like a V-top formation. So you can move up and then move down, and then we just went sideways, right? Then we just went sideways, and now we're getting a strong breakdown after this pullback, after the V-top formation. But look what's happening through here as well too. We're actually getting a support. We're actually getting a lot of support levels through there. And if I zoom in now, you can see here support, and you can see a lot of support levels through here. And then now we're getting what? We're getting a breakdown. And look what's also happening as well too. There's a high probability. See this little gap here? if we do get a follow through, you know, tomorrow into next week and so on and so forth, if we do get something like that, then this is a high probability this gap here is going to be what's called a breakaway gap. Okay, a breakaway gap generally starts at the start of a session. You can see here how we had a move up. See how we had a gap here, and then that was the start of the move up. That's what's called a breakaway gap. There's actually a bit of an island reversal there, where you can see this is actually pretty powerful pattern overall, traders. If you just go study this pattern where the market's moving and we get a gap down and then we get a gap back up, there's actually a pretty powerful pattern there. It's actually for a short-term reversal pattern that I'm talking about there. It actually happened on the GLD. Let me actually I'm just giving you an example of what I'm talking about here. See the same thing for the GLD pattern. Again, this is a short-term trading pattern, guys. See how we had the gap here? So we had a gap up and then a gap down, and then we had a short-term reversal there. Same thing for what I'm talking about with Caterpillar as well too. So you can see Caterpillar is actually breaking to the downside. We're getting and the thing you're noticing right now is look at the volume increase as well too on Caterpillar. A lot of selling in Caterpillar after breaking below this major support level through here, and then just it's closing near the low as well too. So looking at Caterpillar, the big picture there is we do have a major support level down through here, which is probably likely to get to I'd say around the 190 level. Or maybe even below that. We do have that major support level down through here, and then there's actually, if this actually starts to pick up some steam on the downside, then there's actually a very strong support level around that 170 level there through there. So looking at, once again guys, looking at Caterpillar again on the short term basis, even for an absolute what I call a short term trade, and I won't go into the exit rules if we're looking at that. You know, I'm not going to give, you know, all those trading rules are obviously for my private clients, but I'm going to help you with what I can as well too while here. But you know, you need to make up your mind with what you do with anything that I do say in this video, because there's still some probability that we're going to do something like this and you're going to go, oh, you little fucker. Right? But there's a lot of probability we're going to start to make a move on the downside when it comes to Caterpillar now, especially with this volume here. So there's a lot of pressure in the markets, guys. We're starting to get that bid up in gold, which is exactly what I would expect to see happening in the very last leg in the stock market. That's why gold breaking out now tells me that we're roughly around 12 months from the top. Them starting to raise interest rates next month tells me roughly 12 months from the top. And therefore, we're probably going to get a bit more of a pullback in the markets, but then we're probably going to have another big, massive move to the upside as interest rates are going up, as gold's going up, and then we're going to see the big bust. But the big bust is not here yet. So traders, when I first started trading, I lost $250,000 trading the markets. And then I got access to a few seven-figure mentors that really set me straight on what I need to do with the foundations, how to read the charts, the trading systems, the mindset, so on and so forth. And then that was the massive turning point for me to be doing really well from actual trading and being successful trading. So what I've done is I've created a course called the Breakthrough Course. And what I've done is I've actually put a whole bunch of really good education and strategies and processes that help me go from $250,000 in debt to then actually becoming a full-time trader, making a full-time income from trading. And I'm actually running a flash sale to that trading course. So if you go to johnsflashsale.com, or there should be a link in the description. If there's not, then go to johnsflashsale.com. That's JOHNS flashsale.com. Go to johnsflashsale.com and you'll be able to get access to this course now for $7. So go get access to that right now, guys, and I'll see you real soon.